A lot of conservatives in particular would say that the rise in Islamophobia is a result not of hate, but of fear, a legitimate fear, they say, of quote-unquote jihadist terrorism, whether it's Fort Hood or San Bernardino or the recent truck attack in New York. What do you say to them?
I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country, because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country. We should be profiling, monitoring, and creating policies to fight the radicalization of white men.
A lot of conservatives.
If you're not familiar with who that is congressional member Ilhan Omar out of Minnesota. Now, Ilhan Omar is from Somalia, right? And she was elected to the Congress in her district in Minnesota. She is one of the most radical far-left extremists in Congress. And she's also a member of what was formerly known as the Squad. Now, the Squad had members like Jamal Bowman, who was the radical Democrat who pulled the fire alarm during the vote last year, who was voted out. AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who's the far-left extremist congresswoman out of the Bronx. We got Cori Bush, who has been voted out, who is a far-left extremist out of St. Louis, okay? And then we got Jayapal out of Michigan, okay? All of these people are extremely radical, and they act like they hate America. Now, Ilhan Omar in particular, if you don't remember, just a few short years ago, she was one of the main people screaming to defund the police. Matter of fact, real quick, let me help remind you who Ilhan Omar really is. Check this clip out.
Will never co-sign on funding a police department that continues to brutalize us. And I will never stop saying, not only do we need to disinvest in police, but we need to completely dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department.
Yeah, so as you hear, she is a far-left extremist, one of these socialists who wanted to defund the police, just let unrest tear up our cities, tear up our country, because in their weird left-wing utopian brain, somehow they feel that if we destroy America, destroy the Constitution, there's going to be this type of immaculate place where all the left-wing radicals will rule and all the minions will do the labor and all the hard work. Do you hear how they speak about the illegal immigrants picking crops and serving food? But that's not the point of this video. In this video, I'm going to show you clips where Ilhan Omar has been called to be deported. Congressman Brandon Gill stated how much better America would be if Ilhan Omar was deported. And she has some choice words for him. But before I go there, let me show you more of who Ilhan Omar is, because she was also tagged, and I mean brutalized, for her anti-Semitism. She is a Muslim, and she can't stand Jewish people and would take every chance she could to jab at them. But one time she went too far. She went so far that Nancy Pelosi and the other leadership in the Democrat Party had to take her to task, to the point that not only did she have to publicly apologize, they literally had to write up rules for some of these radical left-wing extremists, because they just can't control themselves when they got in front of the camera. And it was making the Democrat Party look bad and alienating the Jewish constituents and the Jewish donors. Because let's not get it twisted. Majority of the Democrat Party's high-level, big-money donors, they are Jewish. So it's crazy when members of the Democrat Party have this anti-Semitic stance, and it's hurting their own base. And it's splitting their party and tearing their party apart. But now let's check out this clip on when she let her anti-Semitism just ooze over. Check this clip out.
Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar is apologizing for tweets that many are calling anti-Semitic. The apology comes after backlash on social media and from members of her own party, including House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Danny Spiewak is here to take us through what happened. Danny?
Well, Julie, this all started last night when Representative Omar started tweeting from her personal account. Let's show you those original tweets from last night. In a quote tweet, Omar wrote, "It's all about the Benjamins, baby," an apparent reference to money. She was quoting a tweet from a journalist, Glenn Greenwald, who was criticizing Republican House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy for considering punishment against Omar for her criticism of Israel. An hour later, after a critic asked Omar to explain who's paying politicians to support Israel, Omar wrote AIPAC. That's short for the lobbying group, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. That led to a backlash from some in both parties, as well as some Jewish groups. Many pointed out that the language about Jewish money controlling politics is painful and plays into anti-Semitic stereotypes about Jewish control of foreign affairs. Speaker Pelosi said she spoke with Congresswoman Omar and she agreed to reject anti-Semitism in all forms. Omar then apologized this afternoon, saying, quote, "Anti-Semitism is real, and I am grateful for Jewish allies and colleagues who are educating me on the painful history of anti-Semitic tropes. My intention is never to offend my constituents or Jewish Americans as a whole." But she did say that she reaffirms the, quote, "problematic role of lobbyists in our politics," and said that we must be willing to address that. And in a text message just about a half hour ago, Omar told our Janice Shortle that she did not realize the trope she trafficked and is deeply sorry. Back to you.
If you're enjoying the video, do me a solid. Hit that like button. I'll never ask you for a cash app. I'll never ask you for a super chat. But you hitting that like button, that is currency because it helps spread the video around. And if you aren't already subscribed, subscribe to the Real Politics Podcast, because here, that's what we do. We talk real politics. And once you hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell and then select all. That way, you'll be notified when I upload new videos. So let me get this straight. President Trump, who has never been on record saying anything racist against black or brown people or against anybody, but yet he's labeled a racist. But these Democrats, these left-wing extremists, they get a chance to say everything under the book. Joe Biden can tell black people they ain't black if they don't vote for him. Ilhan Omar can make all types of anti-Semitic statements, and it's all good. The whole Democrat platform can talk about how illegals are coming here to pick fruit and serve food and wash cars and clean dishes. And that's perfectly fine. And then when they're called out for their BS, they always play the deer in the headlights, which, oh, I didn't mean that. I couldn't possibly ever. No, not us. We're the party of love. But every time you look around, they're canceling, they're hating somebody. Have you paid attention that the domestic terrorists in this country, they're not MAGA, they're not Republicans, they're Democrats. But the left-wing media wants to keep saying, oh, it's MAGA. Oh, people that have been to MAGA rallies wearing full-fledged Biden or Harris Waltz gear were welcomed with open arms and were shown how, hey, listen, you could differ of opinion. Come on over here and let us show you why you should check this out. People have gone to a Democrat rally, not even wearing a Trump shirt, just asking basic questions that they never answer. And the TDS kicks in. Somebody just say, well, at what point is a life form, does a baby have life in a woman's stomach? Somebody went and asked that at a Democrat event. They went crazy, and a woman spit in the man's face, and he was genuinely trying to ask. He wasn't MAGA. He would just want to know. But that party is a radical extremist and a hatred. But the question is Ilhan Omar a plant? And you may wonder why I asked, is she a plant? And I'm going to bring you in on a story that many people don't know. Check this out here. A lot of folks don't know, but they do now, that Ilhan Omar, the way that she was able to get her brother into this country and for them to be able to take advantage of citizenship, Congresswoman Omar married her brother to make it legal for him to be in this country. Check out this article from Times of India. Ilhan Omar reacts to news claiming to confirm that she married her brother. An old rumor that Rep. Ilhan Omar married her brother and committed immigration fraud resurfaced as a report claimed it is not anymore a rumor, that a personal friend has now confirmed on record that she indeed married her brother. According to the UK Daily Mail, sources confirmed that Omar told her friends that her second husband was actually her brother and that the marriage was a scam to get him immigration papers. One of these friends told the newspaper that when this apparent marriage happened, it was considered a major scandal in Minneapolis Somali community. At that time, the Democrat leader was not a political figure. So we got somebody in Congress that hates America, that married her brother in violation of federal immigration laws, that's spewing out all types of racism, whether it be against white men, whether it be against Jews. And the one thing about the Democrat Party, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Just because she's Somali and I'm a black man does not mean that she supports the black community. You see, what the Democrat Party is, I call it the victimhood coalition. It's whatever groups of people feels like they're the biggest victim, they just welcome them in. That's why you always hear the Democrats say, we've got a big tent. Because no matter what, if you feel like you're a victim as trans, come on. Feel like you're a victim as LGBTQ, come on. You feel like you're a victim as a minority, come on. You feel like you're a victim as a woman, come on. You feel like you're a weird, low testosterone beta male, and you feel like a victim, come on. They welcome them all in. And here's the problem. The great thing for the Republicans is that the only thing these folks have in common is they all say, orange man bad. And they all work together to fight from keeping the orange man out of the White House. But guess what? Thanks to people like you and all the millions of others, patriots, went out there and made the voices heard and spoke for the American people on November the 5th. And the orange man is back in the White House, except for now they got to call him President Orange Man. Right now, Ilhan Omar has taken and made public announcements about how she is all about Somali first, not America first. She literally stood up, and if I could find the clip, I would show it. But I've seen it, and I would have to dig a little bit to go get it and pull it up. But if you get time, you can search YouTube and find it. She literally publicly said onto the Somali people, and she spoke it in her native tongue, not even in American, how, yeah, her whole intent there is all about Somalia, and how, you know, everything she's doing there is specifically for Somali first, not U.S. first, but she's representing the United States of America. So Brandon Gill, let's get to the congressman. Brandon Gill, he had a huge problem with the lack of patriotism that Representative Omar shows. And he decided he was sick of it, and he called it out. Check out this clip.
Well, what I said was that America would be better off if she were deported. Let me tell you, for the past 4 years, Joe Biden and the Democrats, herself included, have facilitated the invasion of this country of 15 million illegal aliens. And what she's doing now as a sitting member of Congress is teaching illegal alien Somalis how to evade ICE. We have illegal aliens right now murdering and raping and pillaging our people with virtual impunity, and that is because of lawmakers like her who are facilitating this invasion. I think it's disgusting, but let me tell you one other thing, which is that Republicans are done playing this racist game. This doesn't intimidate us anymore. We need leaders in Washington who are going to look out for the American people, for American citizens, not for foreigner illegal aliens. And all of her actions and her comments since then suggest that she is more interested in advancing the interests of illegal aliens than she is in looking out for American citizens.
And that's a fact. She is. And
I believe that that is wrong.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure the clip ended. And she is. Everything she does, it seems like anti-America, wearing the Ukraine flag on the congressional floor, calling out to defund the police, saying that she's all about the Somalian people before she's about the American people, even though she lives here in America. And people like her make me sick, because if America's so bad, why don't you go back to Somalia? If it's so racist and that you just can't stand it, why don't you go back to where you came from? But as you know, CNN being the drama starters that they are, when Brandon Gill made this statement, they had Representative Omar on the show, and they decided that they wanted to ask her feedback about what he said. And they did. Now, knowing that by bringing this up, they just want to get a good hot take from her, something that they can clip up and throw up. And Ilhan Omar will never, ever disappoint on providing people like myself content to show just how much of a lunatic she is. So listen how she attacks the American citizens again, based on what Brandon Gill said about her. Check this clip out.
I want to follow up with something else, because we recently had one of your Republican colleagues, Brandon Gill, on the show. He said that America would be better off if you were arrested and deported. He also said that there was audio of you advising what he said or illegal immigrants here from Somalia on how to evade ICE detection. I want you to respond to that.
Yeah, I mean, again, these are people who have really stopped caring about our institutions, really stopped caring about our Constitution. We know that folks who are here, whether they are documented or undocumented, we know whether you are a permanent resident or you're a citizen, you have constitutional rights. And it is really important for people to know those rights. I know that it is red meat for his base that are xenophobic and racist to say to them that I am going to find a way to arrest and deport a member of Congress who he thinks is doing something wrong, when I am doing the right thing in trying to make sure everybody that is within my constituency has the resources and the information that they need.
And she was democratically elected by members by the people in her district.
Yes, of course. But just to follow up very quickly, just be clear, you're not calling all of his base xenophobic and racist, right?
Well, I mean, he is feeding to something. He has a petition out. He's getting donations. That's what this is all about. He knows he can't deport me. There is no grounds for my arrest. So this information is only being put out there by him for a reason. And that reason is because he has a base that feeds off of that.
Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, thanks so much for coming in.
As always, she called, now the fact that he made the statement but she considers his base to be racist and xenophobic, all because we have a United States Congresswoman that is always anti-America, that is pro-Somali, anti-America, who just can't stand white people, who can't stand Jewish people, who can't stand Republicans, especially black ones. And so the fact that he said America would be better if she was gone, I agree wholeheartedly. But the fact that she attacks his base rather than just making her statement towards him is BS. And the fact that CNN wanted to bring this up to give her an opportunity to take a shot at him is more propaganda on their part. Okay, so I wanted to jump in and just share that these left-wing lunatics are they're just out here and they're propagating and they're propagandizing more BS than ever before. And Ilhan Omar is at the forefront of this with her brother marrying, incestual relationship, having anti-American, pro-Somali, fake America loving self, needs to get out of here. And if there was a way that we could undo that, knowing what we know now, man, I'd sign that petition in a second. But just another day in left-wing lunatic world where we got people like her that are literally representing the United States of America, a country that she despises. The people in Minnesota and Minneapolis specifically got to do better. But hey, listen, man, I just wanted to bring it to you. But check for that clip where she's talking about how pro-Somali she is. She's pro-Somali before she's American. Remember, she's speaking in her native tongue and they got the context on the video. It'll blow your mind. But as always, you know, the fact that you hung in there with me this long, thank you so much from the top and bottom of my heart. I really do appreciate it. And if you haven't already, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And I'm Brian Maxwell. I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all.